Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Yes. It took some convincing.
The lieutenant leans in.
That suit of armor was issued to an Oranese citizen named Ellis Kortenaer. That's Ellis Kortenaer. Exact date of birth, unknown. He was signed into the Lelystad County Neonatal Care Unit on 28th of February, 09. He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit. This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered. Then the armor followed him to Seminine, or at least I assume it did. And that's it. There are no records of it. It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail of the hospital.
It is. Thank you, Alice.
None, officer.
Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their invent.
No problem.
A compliment from Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Not bad.
A name. This is very good. Ellis Kortenaer.
I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer. 50.
In the cabin, you see a
Hello again. A fridge? No, I don't know anything about a fridge.
For whatever reason, she's lying to you about the fridge. Seems like you have to find your own way to the cellar. You see a tattered set of curtains and a polyhedron shape. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains,
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the... Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't...
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the... Everybody suddenly needs something from there. Why? It's not like anyone was killed there. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there.
The curtains do seem frail suddenly, not robust enough to contain.
No! Please just talk to me off...
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. You see a tattered set of curtains and a polyhedron-shaped cage-like trinket.
Nothing. Now please go back.
She speaks almost as if she's trying. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, you see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron. This is a traditional Seminese ward. meant to provide inhabitants of, aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is... You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of skin.
I warned you. You're unleashed.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. What if you just break it down? That's right. Take in your surroundings. You need to have a solid ground and a steady breathing. Solid core. The room is dimly lit and littered with old barbershop rubbish. It's made of a solid block of wood. Only an echo. A hollowed out, dark echo. You smash into the wood and see a small crack appear on the doorframe. It's going to take one more try.
You're not thinking of trying again, are you? What is this place? I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of an eerie feeling rises in your chest.
Yes, because it's...
A barbell lies on the floor. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then. No one does until they get smashed under the barbell.
You manage to hoist it off the ground, but the barbell feels wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to smash through that back door.
Weightlifting was never my favorite either. At the station gym, I mean. I prefer running.
Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here. Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other. That's a good question. Reality is Fairweather T500. Remember that weakness you were looking for in the ceramic armor? Like, maybe it can only stop small, fast projectiles, but a large, slow-moving pry bar would shatter it? Or, if I run an electrical current through it, maybe it will melt. Or, personal favorite, frequency something something radio weapon? None of that would work. You need to shoot the part of the enemy that doesn't have Fairweather T500 on it, because the armor itself This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
What he means is that these things cost money.
But we are looking for a fridge, and we are pressed for time, so...
This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120.
Maybe the body has stopped decomposing somehow. I don't know. You're in charge of this expedition, officer.
You can always do it after the fridge. The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. It's empty like a beehive. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside it. Like a smooth drawer, the filament slides into place. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps. The static gets louder, slowly filling up.
Good morning. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? The filament you have inserted into the reader. Yes. Is that good?
Password. Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
No.
A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
Still, no. I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder Fortress Accident without filing a warrant.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password? Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way.
Fortress Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to. One moment. Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive calling radio.
That's not bad.
Any other questions? Good. Please repeat the password.
Don't worry.
Fortress Accident. Is there anything else? Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
They are merely cautious. It's my job to protect their filaments as a password repeater at the East Insulindian Station. I work as a repeater at the East Insulin. As for me, well, I am sick now. Please tell me if there's anything else. Thank you.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine. Nothing happens. You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear looks oddly realistic. This must be the fridge you were told about. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Of course, a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Just what we were looking for. Let's see what...
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to...
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
Your visual confirms you could fit 2 more bodies in the ice.
Shall we go and get the body, then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we...
The two of you. Easily. The body is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement. Then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Beautiful. A dead body in a nice bare fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
You've definitely earned a drink after this. Perhaps even some pagan rite.
No, not really. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in a nice bare fridge. This story does not leave this room.
He means it. He doesn't want to be the Ice Bear cop.
And I'm guessing grave robbery is also part of the performance.
He's right. His work would be much more formal.
At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection.
Inside the icy realm of the Ice Bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting. Your arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand. His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around. The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, delicate to touch. From the soft meat, teeth up. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat. And there, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darker. An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Abrasion.
A black trickle of liquid run. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth. Right? Yes, that's what this part is called. You've seen the drawings. You've studied. The basal ganglia feels clumpy. The bullet has torn apart. This man will never sleep again. Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep. This is what he used to regulate his emotions with. Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand. All the muscles in your body harden. Time to... The cartilage gives in with a crack, like some fruit. Just like that, your hand is in his head. Fluid streams down your wrist, and then you finally feel it. With the tip, sharp serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin. This must be the bullet. You pick the sharp metal bullet between your index and middle finger. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
Good.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic.
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact. Of course, you've earned it. We need to add an item to the injury list. High velocity, temporary cavity in brain tissue, small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound? Opinion, fatal injury. And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3, ligament mark. Treatment. I had my doubts. There were no signs of a struggle on his hands, no claw marks on his neck. But still.
His brow furrows while his eyes glaze over. The lieutenant looks regretful for not figuring this out before.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it. Yes.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day. Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. Enough is... I'll leave that.
The word lingers in the air of the basement. Far away, a detective.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets, keeping it on the... A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you. From a gloss, the paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate. Even under this stench, you can feel it.
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day. The electricity bill must be catastrophic.
Indeed. Refrigerated meat is much better for coroner's work.
I will need a little help.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. The squished little thing. I know. You should find the gun that shot this bullet. Who would want this used bullet? But the bullet is not edible, sadly. But bullets don't talk. That sounds like something a police detective would do. First, you should learn all you can about this little gun. Then find the gun that shot it and the person that gun belongs to. He used it to kill your victim. Neato. The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge. The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still... What's interesting about the bullet thus far? A jacketed bullet, which would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzle loader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez. Very interesting. You have an unusual military-grade bullet in your hand. Now all you need is to find a gun that could fire. The bullet is still safely sealed away. You can't remember what happened last week. What makes you think you're going to remember arcane firearm models? The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the... You can't remember what happened last week. The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. You can't remember what happened last. Now that you've acquired some stimulants, it's time for a little pick-me-up. Time to detect. It'll make you into more than that. A megacop. You raise the peptide bottle, press one nostril closed, and inhale furiously with the other. The rush is almost immediate. It tastes bitter and caustic, and stings a bit inside your nose. Now the taste is slowly receding into your throat. The rush is growing in intensity. And, let's be honest, there's a little chest pain. The good kind, of course. You may want to blast the nose a fair. You could work with this high. Like, literally work. Solve the case. File some papers. Maybe clean up. Whoa, this shit is strong. This shit is disco. To this... You kidding? Spring, spring. Everything is clear around you.
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's a speed button. Speed gives +1 to motoric skills. Perception, reaction speed, hand-eye coordination, savoir-faire.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp.
Looking for some...
The tear machine. A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various...
Okay, here. I hope... Okay, here. Okay, here. Okay, here. I hope...
I have really outdone myself.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat ass of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
René, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assist? Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol.
Do not defile her memory.
His tone lacks its usual intensity, like he doesn't feel...
We knew her, all right. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just... She was René's first girl, back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he
And then you stole her from me.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the...
We were just boys then. This was different. No point starting this all over again. For the 1000th and the first time. Especially when we have...
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a... René and I were both...
Died.
Departed. Until the very end she couldn't decide She could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which one of us. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get... Heck, technically...
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. So Justa with your fancy words.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left. I'm sorry, officer, but...
The only one you have.
The sandwich looks like a culinary wonder. Well made, and in addition to the obvious slice of ham, a fat one, you notice a brim of a tomato peeking from below. And is that mayonnaise?
Believe me, officer, I wish I could help you, but I need this sandwich to keep my blood sugar stable. In my age, you need to pay attention to these things. Fuck off! It's mine!
A glimmer of respect flashes in Rene's eye.
Sorry, officer. I'm sorry.
And it's gone.
When the dissidents come to rape our country, he hides. But try to get a bite of his dear sandwich and he gets claws? You're a special kind of vermin, Gaston.
Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. No.
Then help him, you wimp. You're a...
I wish I could, but I just...
Odd. He doesn't seem to be lying, but...
I'm not...
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of union prick.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not anyone Everyone in Martinez...
What do you know about history? You never will...
The old... There he stands.
What a prick. The officer...
Where were we?
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. Oh, not in the technical sense. I don't have a...
So that's what it was before. Him hiding something. He tries to make it look like he doesn't know anything.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew. I hate this socialist rabble.
Writing work mostly. How can... Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers. About Martinez and...
Well, he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple.
That's just the way things work around here. No reason. I don't even consider myself a regular socialist. Politics is... I believe everyone has the right to...
Come on, you.
Everyone in Martin...
There... Where were we? What a joyous way.
Thank you, officer, for being a consummate professional.
A man so principled about his sandwich calls for a principled approach. Time to get political. This right here is political. Say one of these fascist or communist things or fuck off.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Why would you even...
He won't kill. As long as there's food in his...
Good. Rene's on board too. Time to take back the streets. Right-wing
Now you are talking sense, son. All three of us working as a group.
What do you mean?
Ignore him. You are addressing the entire group now.
Agreed. What about the whole group?
I'm sure we can come up with something with a bit...
It's dignified.
His tone leaves no room for arguments.
All right, all right. I have a bad feeling about this. Oh, you went through all that trouble for my sandwich. I'm flattered, officer, but my answer is no.
Officer, I prefer the old name. Insulindian Lily. Girls brought them to young cadets when they entered service. Wearing them on your cap was supposed to bring good luck. It used to be. But you know what?
But it wasn't the revolutionaries that sold the idea for you, was it?
Enough! I can go over these matters in detail with you, Gaston. But what is this? Are you mocking us? This isn't for pétanque.
Now. No need to get angry again, René. I'm sure the officer...
Trying is worth as much as is accomplished. In this case, fine. You try to right a wrong. It's still a gram better than actual nothing.
As René turns from you to his partner and back, the medals, two, the larger one, a crowned head in front. It's the Croix de Bravoure, Cross of Valor. The cross was the height. A small blue star, the setting sun, was a decoration used to distinguish seas.
For bravery. No. We were the last ones to keep all the baby killers and rapists in check. And let me tell you...
Whoa. Sounds like you're about to open the gates of conversation. This man will literally talk.
For doing my duty in the heat of battle. For looking my mortality in the eye. When men like Gaston...
He saved some muddy princeling who foolishly strolled into the front line in his gown of velvet and gold.
It was on the first months of the revolution here in Revachol. King Frisel thought he could aid. Alas, the young Drisson was all piss and no vinegar, wearing a tunic of purple velvet and cockatoo feathers to battle.
He really despises that Drisson.
To keep the long and bloody story short, Drisson marched us against... The rebels were smart. They let us come I got shot in the left shoulder and went down. Then his horse, driven mad. I grabbed...
Capitaine Arnoux.
The bane of...
When I came, the Dink had taken numerous flesh wounds and lost a lot of blood. But despite missing his jaw, he seemed hesitant to die. Tougher than he looked, that one. Right. So I grabbed the prick and started through some miracle, we both survived. And he was the commanding officer and I was on duty. Just doing my job. Shouldn't hand out my...
You sense he's downplaying it. He did a lot more than his duty. More...
Because he was a goddamn dandy. Had no...
Whoa. Man-loving? Is that even a word? It is not. The old...
What Monseigneur Modesty is not telling you is that he crawled over 7 kilometers before the cavalrymen found... And that even while crawling with a mangled half-dead prince on his...
Is that pride in his voice? It's deep down, but maybe even unbeknownst to the man himself. It's there.
Sorry, officer, but you're reading me all wrong. I'm a man of... How did you find the story to be, officer? Maybe, but also bear in mind, officer. They don't hand this out for anyone with a service record. Oh no, you have to get...
Do not speak of what you know nothing about, Paul. Bah! There were many such stories in those days. Many such men, too. True Revacholians. Men with backbone.
Oh, yes, René, yes. Men were bigger, girls were prettier, and...
I'm not!
You should try to come up with a heroic story of your own. Impress this old soldier. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be anything worth mentioning among your achievements. You should resort to good old lying.
Really? What was the unit?
Something with colors and headwear. Say it's classified. An old soldier should understand.
That's what I thought.
Strange. He didn't buy it. bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. A rifle, revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique. The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields. No, but Zeiliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around. Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. Back at the station, the lieutenant is standing at a counter, diligently filling out paperwork. You should share your findings with him as soon as possible.
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I head the citizens' militia on this fine day?
All right, this is how we're gonna do it.
Like what, officer? This is as good as they come in Revachol, I assure you.
An array of delicious recipes flashes. This calls for an engineering angle. Structural rigidity, exposed rafters, lattice works, that type of approach.
Mon Dieu, that is an excellent idea. That would virtually negate the component loss. Ce serait délicieux! Can you make that sandwich? I hope you are not just tricking an old man out of the little he has left. Oh, god of sandwiches, maybe? But in the meanwhile, what can I do for you here and now, officer?
The ham sandwich looks fresh and nutritious in your hand, begging to be eaten. You jam your teeth into the sandwich and immediately feel a series of taste This is what angels must taste like. Your saliva, it really is every bit as good as it looked. The bread, as the foundation of the sandwich, is slightly moist due to the tomato juice and milk. A rusting control panel. You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the water lock starts moving, Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere. In this yard, someone thought they could have a summer house on the beach for cheap. It didn't work out. Looks like they abandoned it. The porter reel is just what you needed. The reels, you press the large button marked Commencer, and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing. It sounds like someone's moving in the room, getting comfortable. Then the organ starts playing a simple, melancholic tune echoing in the hallway, telling you about the tiniest church in Cessons, surrounded by even tinier yard. You almost feel the seaside mist on your skin. It's mega sad. Within seconds you know, this is the one, the real shit you've been looking for. A click, then silence for a bit. Then, of course you could sing this. You could take sad to a whole new level with this. And you already know the lyrics since you've listened to it like a million times. Yup, they're all here, all 3 verses. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling Gart. You have to convince Gart to let you sing karaoke in the whirling. After you've won him over, a banged-up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. Remember the tire tracks in Martinez? This is where they were leading. The motor carriage sits in the salty ocean water. A seagull takes off from the half-submerged machine. It's almost like you get a sudden sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage the motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. A single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles, but this one looks worn even in places the salt water hasn't touched it. The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it. The accident couldn't have happened too long ago. The ice hasn't closed up around the vehicle, so the crash must have happened last Saturday or Sunday. The estimate is correct. The incident probably occurred on Sunday evening. Your mocking tone finds no response, but the motion of the waves. The sad sunken vehicle refuses to, although the sunken motor carriage is. Wait for the low tide. Then you should be able to access the cab. As you sit down in the old rusty playground, the world around you becomes. The hinges creak under your. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky. The tune on your lips forms. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion. Dreaming, drinking, fucking, fighting, trying to improve their. It's unclear whether the sunken vehicle agrees or not, but merely uttering these clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the Yes, it is. It feels as the city behind you grows silent in the wake. A dim light scatters from the cloud cover above the city. In it, you can see the blue and white motor carriage slowly appear. It's a Caprice 40, a workhorse of the motor park, favored by the working men, government offices, firefight. Yes, Harry, it's the number 41, the number of our precinct. I hoped you would come back for me. Come on, Harry. There's nowhere to run. It's just you and me, old friend. Come on, Harry. There's nowhere to run. It's just you and me. Come on, Harry. There's nowhere to run. It's just you and me, old. I'm so sorry, Harry. A massive pit opens up in your stomach. No. Just nope. Say no to this, Harry. No matter how many times you say it. Yes, Harry, you did. The sooner you accept it, the sooner you can move on. You were not. We don't. No, you can't. After losing every single thing you were entrusted with, I wouldn't hold my breath. Keep moving. You're a shark. You stop. An aggressive-looking seagull lands on the swing set. police badge on which you see the photo. The man in the photo looks at you. Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document. The man keeps winking at you with his green but the badge is new. You used an old photo for a new badge. 8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good looking. He's got, what do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression. Or the badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. This document confirms it. Harriet Dubois, i.e., Harry is really your name. That's what it says on the badge. No more information is provided. You should look at the badge when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is around. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41. You don't remember what the numbers in the middle mean. The badge was issued roughly 4 months ago. A new document is given to you as part of a promotion, or when you lose the... You're not sure about the melody.
Welcome to the fishing village.
Then how does she know you're here?
I still have a golden ear. Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble. No, you're not. I've seen you around here before. 12 years ago. No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
Oh, the you.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heels.
You're still welcome here as long as men with guns aren't chasing you. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage. And not a... Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us? Stay? Well, that said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM. No one is using it, and God knows it's not much anyway. Oh, don't. It's your choice. My kids grew up and left like they do. The house is long. Aye. The room is pretty bare bones, but it's got a bed and roof over it. That's more than some folks have around here. Surely not the first one. So are you interested or not? Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the place. Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We all... This is pretty much a non-place. A gap.
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even...
The lack of wealth is the one thing we've got in abundance.
It's cold, cynical.
Then all's not lost. As you can see, even at least those who remain.
There's nobody there.
Over there, you can find more. An old military hospital, and after the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets. The goodwill ran out. The staff left, Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks living, and then there's the drugs. Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. Here, for you, no officer.
Under carts, boats, in little boxes. It's not hard. She nods.
Not much. There's the abandoned church. Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. The ecclesiastics have tried to get things going there, but things just keep happening. Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses. I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Of note, the old fish market up on the... No one. That's why it's closed. Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a lorry for the Delta or some... What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. And now you know every... Me? No one. Just a... Now it's your turn, Mr... What a handle you got there. So many titles. Eh? What's this about? Come now, I can't read all the scribble. Tell me what it says. Huh, I might be half blind, but it looks like part of the village is gonna be a street. The best part, the part we need to get out of our houses. Have you asked Lillian about this? I won't even consider signing. She's right over there. The dog head? Yes, you do that. Don't let fat Mr. Clay...
She is not impressed by a cop run.
Hi, officer.
Factory balanced. Bakelite and stainless steel.
Anything I can help you with? A fishing village on the seashore. The sign on the street leading here is illegible. The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions, and that was actually the second one.
Indeed, you're always confused as to your whereabouts.
Let's see. I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate? Aha! Like, two old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking Right. Not only snowmen, also green men.
Oh, you're getting it. And it is gorgeous.
I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen? I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate? Aha! Two old guys have... I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides... Well, how can I assist you then, officer? Where are you? This says by signing, I agree to live... What a nice idea.
She sounds incredulous about the niceness of the...
He has a pen and everything. Here you go. I shouldn't have. Probably, but it is a youth centre and I have children. Got to give them something else to do. They're Anyhow, you also need Isabel's signature. It's about...
Sound logic. Division of labor. She...
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids. I sell the fish to people in the Delta to serve at their Sometimes I also walk to the beach.
Keep it professional, man. Don't make it sound like you're hitting on her.
Oh, very. Finding people... What else? Bottles, drugs also, lost cargo.
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely.
And go where? The fish are plentiful here and we get enough orders to get... People imagine picking up and finding something better.
Hordes of wild, homeless people roaming the lands. Nomads.
I don't mean to complain about my pauper life. We are warm and fed here and... I don't know. There's just something about this Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of store. Not really. I know some basic moves, and I know it sure as hell beats a knife.
But not when you're in a tight spot.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time. Sure. Venomosity. But boys will be boys, and God knows we don't have many around. No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I use to keep these animals in check. What makes you think we haven't? The truth is that goes for men too. But they put on an act for it.
That does not go for real men. It does not go for you. Show her. Coach means the expression.
Sure. It looks as if you could face that.
The traces of her laughter are still there, in her eyes.
Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. Guess I enjoyed the way he bled. Gone. Good for you. He, however, was lost. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk and sure... Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles. Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday.
The door has seen better days. The key to... bed is comforting, if a bit rough. On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor, like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman. You use the small mirror and the straight razor with some soap to remove all that unkempt hair from below the nose line. The sharp blade chafes against your skin, producing a scratching sound. The surface underneath the beard feels tender, the air brushing against it chilly. They feel so smooth, surprisingly so. A feeling of freshness overcomes you, as if you just came from a cold bath. Scrubbing all the necrotic tissue off your hands takes a while. The fingernails are should have used gloves. Detectives use gloves when they go rummaging around in someone's dead brain. But man persists, and finally, your bruised hands look clean and presentable. Sort of. The sudden absence of the morbid dead tissue smell. The water reflects back a vague image of your clean-shaven face. Despite the bulbous nose, unkempt hair, and you almost look like a professional. Date of birth generator. You were born in the year 07, in the last year of the commune of Revachol, right before it fell, in the old military hospital on the ground floor, where people usually came to die during a snowstorm. The revolution had about 1 year left to go, and the fires were still burning bright. There were explosions in the blizzard.
Our Lillian should let her sword make her decisions. The girl just doesn't have the head for it. Either way, I want some. Lillian's not the only one who's too thirsting.
She wanted to see if you would do it, and if she would.
I've seen it all before. You think they've got our interests at heart? Rich men are always selling. Then the poor get pushed out of their homes, and the rich get a little richer.
In her mind, the Union is right-wing because Everard is fat. She is headstrong, but there's a slight hesitation in there. You may be able to convince her. Logic and reason won't work on this old bat. Better, the grandmother card will do the trick. Last chance.
What do you mean? What's going to happen? I raised my own kids in this village and... No, they moved to Faubourg for work. Well,
You've got her. Now...
Then... You watch your tongue, boy. This village has held up much better. That doesn't mean you're wrong, though. I don't believe the Fat Man's Youth Center is going to... I won't be around much longer, anyway. Not with the... We do.
Reluctantly, she takes the pen from your hand, scribbles her name on the line, and hands everything back to you.
See that you didn't just get us all screwed. I might be half blind, but I have a good memory. Huh? I like to see him try.
That doesn't make... She doesn't seem surprised by this.
Get out of here, trying to ruin my day. And that you've... I wield an army of drunks.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicked. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He what? This one.
Lily's our mum.
The stone kicker. The other one. Wow. So the stone kicking isn't even of very high caliber. The stone kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to...
He looks just like me.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother, the rock kicker, was just being shy. But now...
You're stupid. Okay. Hello, mister.
She clutches a small stuffed...
Yes, I am. That's nice. My mum is great. Yes. They look the same. They look identical. It's a grouse.
You might be able to get on Garth's good side if you replace the broken skewer you almost certainly broke.
Sure, just go and get it. I don't like it anyway.
All right. You just need to grab it from the ceiling and go.
It's Lammy! He's my friend.
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and...
Yes. Lammy has lived a long life. Lammy was a... No! That's not it! You know, it's
Lambie is a stuffed...
Yes. Very soft. Isn't he soft? It's
Lambie is a...
Yes. Lammy has lived... No! It's
Lambie.
Yes. No! Bye!
To see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy?
Does he actually know you? Or is he just shopkeep friend?
So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. Hi. By amphetamine, I mean speed. Sure did, buddy boy. That's why I said amphetamine. I mean speed. Hi. Good, my man. Now what... Sure, friend. You know it.
Don't mind old Rosemary here. He's a...
Oh. The system's been good to old Rosemary here, and I'm milking her like a bitch goat in the backyard. You see, friend, man makes his own luck, and I made mine real good. Got my head...
The hook. Where is it? I can't see it.
Hook 'em and cook 'em, huh? You want to buy something? Let's keep it moving. See, friend, it's real valuable. Worth every real, if you catch my drift. Got it from a bit of a business venture. You know, it's funny, actually.
He's finding it difficult to
What?
keep him talking.
This guy. Oh, this is medicinal spirits. I got one of those scientific ampoules a few months ago. Torpedo, they call it. It's supposed to... Didn't stop me for shit, that's for sure. 5 lemons with half a pack of butter and you're good to go. It really isn't. In a week, the goddamn kidneys started giving me all kinds of hell. Those arseholes charged me 4 real to remove the damn thing. But I came out on top after all. But the idiots left me alone in there. Now, I used to teach high school biology. Like 3 cans of this blue medicinal stuff from the back room. Threw the snakes out. 2 I already sold to these fine gentlemen here.
Don't say it.
3 real and it...
Well done. You got it. That's a much more reasonable price right there. Makes sense now.
Just make sure to enjoy that one, friend. My kind of guy. Here you go, friend. Bottoms up, Captain. In the civilized world, it's a custom.
Hey, tequila! Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation So what's happening? Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the,
He says it like it's obviously your name. Like you call someone Billy Brunel or leader of the 4th Street Gang.
That's harsh. I'm like 3 or maybe 4 years into mine. Wait, no. Make it 5. Things aren't going super well for Idiot Doom Spiral either. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies.
Idiot doom spiral, huh? This is bound to be a good,
We are saving the world.
Please! Please don't go!
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. So now, it's you. Your tequila sunset. We've met.
No, you should.
Aha. Do you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be? Let me take a sip to moisten up my cords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday. Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head.
It is.
Hey, man, I'm not judging. This life's a valley of... Either way, it was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, got our drink on. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza.
Do you remember the sound of wood cracking?
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. Anyway, there was a brief silence. A gasp of silence, if you will. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage containing you. Right there on the beach. You rev the engine and... The time hath come! So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come. To which you The time hath come for Tequila Sunset, the end of all things! Yeah, looms. Why not? Then you jam the pedal and...
Your hands cramp on the steering levers.
We ran towards the ice whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in... When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge... Recognizing a brother in... We asked about the whole Tequila Sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now, and insisted that we all call... I'm not sure. I think you were the event. Tequila Sunset. Yeah. Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was how they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, It was the greatest thing this fishing village has...
Aye, that was a classic.
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying...
No one's fucked me. Oh, Abigail.
It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still... Beside your gun and your badge, you said something about your hope. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too? That's a big one. You told us that they were a bunch... No specifics, though. It was more about... Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it so... Yeah, you said that it was okay that you crashed your carriage because the spectral hand of the market was guiding you. This was before you started talking about how the Pinkies were always trying to fuck you. You kept calling yourself a goddamn superstar who'd cleared 501 cases.
As you've already determined, the actual number is...
No thanks to the squares at the precinct, as you put it. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller.
You might get scammed here.
No, the reality of the situation... Booze! Did you already forget our part? So, have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a... Not much.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna...
Don't call Abigail!
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder/junior partner at a high-concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural inc. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily. 22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially It did, with my but now dreams are worn thin, much like my One day I left on my evening run. As you may know,
his eyes are clouded. His eyes.
So I removed the keyring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets. To stop the jangling, you see. At least, that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started. Wet, okay? I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no
No, you don't.
Whatever. The point is, reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying. So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key. I wish I were, Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office. I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most people are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie, and just then I experienced a moment of clarity. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my... So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a long time. If there was anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now. The hobo lifestyle definitely has some perks. Not having to pay rent, first and foremost. But that charm wears off pretty quickly. Before you know it, you're wearing a shit-stained tracksuit and spending your days picking tear. Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece Lycra tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole...
A lost jacket? Sounds like a mystery you could look into.
My agency, man. The Boom Boom Room. Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits. I was financing a group of poets in East Rebishal who were
If it sounds like it makes no sense, that's because it doesn't.
I know! It was fucking awesome! Too bad I went on a jog, unleashing a cascade of doom that washed it all away. What? You've never seen 100% Lycra before? Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind.
Good God. It's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like randomized trials have also found Lycra, TM, to be associated. And then there's the smell.
Wow, you're lucky.
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them. My fellow
Hey, Tequila!
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. He's a...
I thought he was a cool cop.
Don't call Abigail.
And this is Abs. So yeah, that's... Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Yeah, exactly. If I knew where I lost it, don't you think... Somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask her... I'm all ears, Tequila. I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. No. Contrary to popular belief, I enjoy being alive. Cottonmouth is keeping my tongue
Why does art inspire you so much? Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual. In short, art is the highest form. Have you looked in the mirror lately? To be honest, you have the exact features of the modern artist, with that wild hair and those clothes. Perhaps you should try to... Of course not. It's autism. Box. Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real... Quit being so indecisive. What are you going for here? Some kind of indecisive and camp aesthetic now? Strike a bold shape here. Go art or go home. Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street. You must go ahead and provide. The noxious odor.
Don't you call her? Yeah! Abigail!
You're not going to get anything out of this guy.
Don't call Abigail!
The man hiccups. He snorts and...
Don't call Abigail!
The drunk man starts coughing.
Don't you fucking call her! Don't! Don't!
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut. Nothing happens. Oh, the carving on the door is block-like, and the surface is smooth from the wind, but moist to the touch. This cheap-looking padlock is... It'll be easier to break the staple than the lock. Also, that sticker is interesting, somehow. You see a yellow circle with 2 X's and a big curve below them that looks like a mouth. You're pretty sure you haven't seen it before, but there is something blindingly modern about this symbol. It's the contrast between the cheery, chemical yellow and the rigor mortis. As if this cheap-looking padlock is sturdily built. It shackles together. It'll be easier to break the staple than the lock. Also, that sticker is interesting, somehow. There's nothing like the sound of a sticker unpeeling. Now it's stuck to your thumb. Looks like today was a gold star day. The padlock passes through a staple that's been hastily attached to the wood. Closer inspection reveals that one of the screws is not a screw at all, but a nail. The work has been done recently and is unprofessional, to say the least. Should you want to get through, it might be easier to just pry the whole thing off. A metal payphone under a yellow... You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable. Calling. Still, this feels wrong. End of tone.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre? So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even... Are you sure you're Pierre? Your voice.
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves wash. Calling. Some.
Hello, Gerard speaking.
Hello, Gerard. Technically speaking. No, what you are is a surprise. Get his wife on the phone.
Who is this? Who the fuck do you think you are talking to me like that? Very funny, asshole. Why don't you...
This...
Stop calling me, man. I'll get you your money, alright? I just need till tonight. Let me work. Check this.
Disconnect. Someone has left an unidentifiable. The cloth, if you can still, it's streaked with dried seagull shit. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out. Much as the thought of touching it causes you to cringe, this could be the jacket the idiot in the colourful track. As you hold it in your hand, it's a sword. Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. Seriously. It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but it smells like a dead sea creature, tangled in grey strands of seaweed. It must have spent... Somehow, it was carried. The faint impressions of many footprints are also present, though it's impossible to tell what kind. The crust is hard. This jacket spent at least... It's too late. You've already thought about it. And now your hand... What? No. Then it'll just... The smell. It's awful and familiar. It doesn't help. Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that. Something cold. It is death. It must be. Yes, a sense of joy. There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin. 2 empty bottles of Tallulah. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some Pilsner bottles too. Better not pick them up. They seem... Whoever tossed it... Red Astra is the black market version of Astra. You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it. It's no older than a... It's hard to concentrate in. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk. Starting, the smell is not as bad as another dead body. This calm now, carefully. Just another. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. The leather jacket suits him well. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket feels sodden. The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk. A bad fall. His expression is dark. Height, 170. There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floor, a dried chunk of blood, covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard. You see waves churning. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through a .75 liter Tallulah Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves, the blackness of death. Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there. So, the entire boardwalk. First, you need to talk with the lieutenant. Then, report back to the station. An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't... You rattle the handle a bit, then push on the door with all your weight. It does not budge. Not only is it locked, it's also jammed shut. You can't, ever. At least you can think about opening it, about doors in general. The concrete structure. Is there something here that would indicate a sniper used this place as a nest for taking the shot? Just some urban detritus, a bottle, and a dilapidated old comms tower. A smoking assailant who favors Tiomotiri, Tu Ostra, or Duhan cigarette butts are part of the camp. Tiomotiri was a Revacholian colony on Ilmaran. The Suzerainty's population was mostly Ilmaran Areopagites, up to 97. Oh, you do? The butts you saw had a silhouette of a boy wearing a coffee hat, a tobacco picker. This boy is the Tiomotiri brand logo. Contemporary Revacholians prefer Juan, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, a legendary cigarette from Grad. Tiomotiri is favored by older men who like its old-fashioned paper filter tips, insane amount of tar, and the sweet smells of colonialism and halva. There, 1.2 kilometers over the cold water, a glowing light on the third floor of the whirling in rags. With binoculars, you would see a young woman's shape move behind the glass, her limbs long and slender. To warm his hands before he pulled the trigger. There are no markings on the ground for a tripod. He would have had to lie on a mattress. The salty water has corroded the ladder to nothing but two thin. The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card. Billy is a unisex name. Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books. Most of these titles seem to be in the If lost, please return the card to the library. You should first decide what to do with the corpse. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other. The density and spread of these bullet holes is surprising. This takes a lot of bullets. Fully automatic rifle fire. There it is, a brave little army in your pocket. You picked the best one. This soldier is fat and succulent. Get a load of this. The lighter's dark green disposable plastic. Safety's off. In your case, the safety is always off. Thick, warm smoke gets sucked down into your lungs. Immediately, you feel a warm nostalgia fill your head, body, and...
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's a cigarettes button.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall. A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least. Their heads lowered and eyes 10 meters away. Other shades are lined up in an orderly manner. Automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows. The sun blazes high up in the sky, baking the planks, the sand, your skin. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood. The abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a host of men, probably in everyday clothes. Ragged from they stand, facing the wall. It's impossible. 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the commandant, the one who gives the order. I'm just a representation of your mental faculties, piecing together any available information. A cold sea.
Go. Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not out of this jam.
There's a cylinder.
Who's that?
His self-conscious enthusiasm.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. To what do I owe the pleasure?
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
Oh no, it's all right. Of course. Thank you for passing along the message.
The 881 is a raised motorway that separates Martinez from Jamrock. The labyrinth of streets underneath it makes it difficult.
You broke the waterlock with a motor carriage. There was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter.
Did he say we can go back?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lane, I just have to do one more round. See if the phasm... Well, good question. And I suspect it may have also... It's my hypothesis, but I cannot
A ghost insect, he said? These people are looking...
No, that is precisely what... Very... Not...
It's clear that his obsession with the phasm...
By which I mean, I've heard... I have to resist the thought. Such...
He means asexual reproduction. The females of the species...
Nature does not concern herself with ethical...
Hello, I'm Gary. I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps. I like nature.
Degenerates. This man respects authority.
I've been tempted on occasion, but someone has to...
He pronounces Revacol with a hard K.
I like to pronounce it the hard.
The stupid way. He winks at you, trying to relay some hit. It's a secret rite. A very fringe nationalist handshake, probably.
My?
His eyes widen at the sight of the mug.
I may have had a similar looking mug in the past. Maybe. Okay. Yes, I did. I know I shouldn't have, and I am very sorry, officer. Oh, God. 250? How am I gonna pay that? Okay. I'll work harder. I'll pay it off.
This is a considerable expense to him.
And I'll never do it again. I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been...
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing. Nothing. Just answering some... Officer, please. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals. Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no one else would. Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass.
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services, so I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage. I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut. What sound? Really? There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though. Insects. Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor, but I don't know anything about...
An infant could see he's not... There's something going on here. You should observe him more.
I hope I could help your investigation.
Don't be so relieved yet, Gary. This bad cop may have been in your apartment, admiring your mug collection. Perhaps a little intimidation?
Sure do.
His eyes narrow slightly. He's wondering which...
In my home. Yes. When I was... Mr. Clare unlocked my apartment? So you work for Everard Clare? What have I done?
As he lowers his tone, he hunches his back.
Whatever it is, Tell him I'm silent as the grave. I won't do it again. If there's any...
This scared him proper. He's positively melting from fear. Has to prop himself up with a lot of anger. That shirt looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something is ready to rip out. Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example. One that...
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I was ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
We're not detecting falsehoods, sire.
Gary! Later, Morale. I've got apologizing to do. Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags, only the cuirass was left. So I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning.
We're detecting sincere contrition here, sire. He's not trying to flatter anyone. He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead, but so light to hold. Like...
Because I was...
The hell?
I'll explain later. I always thought it was the Union, but...
This is all he knows.
Yes, absolutely. I will No.
After all this time with Morale, he must have an opinion.
Oh, yes. A rhinoceros that looks ordinary during the day, but burns brightly by night. They have special ducts just above...
But how is this combustible?
The rhino starts running very fast to build heat, then stops, raises its... Yeah, well, Revacol used to be a flaming rhino once.
Super solid argument, Gary. Can't...
The flames are not just for decor. During the burning rhinos, local peasants...
One more door. There is no way to open the supply depot door. Accept it. You cannot open all the doors. You have to integrate this into your character. Some doors will forever remain closed, even if... Sounds like you're the suicide cop, with his finger on the eject button, ready to let go of... You idiot! You don't... You've made such a big show out of it too. You feel like What is this? It would be the honorable thing to do. It would really show them. Show her too. Oh yes, it would be so sweet. A metal and plastic contraption bobs up and down. This must be the... Ooh, hidden things. You lift the boy out of the water without much. The number 11 has been written on the yellow plastic. It hasn't been in the water for very long, but it's already primitive construction, but it does the job. There's something in there. It smells like you would expect. A shot glass's worth of seawater pours out, some algae, and nothing else. The boy continues to be mostly empty. No answers appear to you in the dirty seawater at the bottom of the... You could ask the miss what she thinks. Later, if you have the time. The buoy continues to be mostly empty. No answers appear to you. You could ask... The buoy Coward. No answers appear to you. You could ask...
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You, officer! Come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I was just telling my son about this building. Not many people are Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks. Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. Very important. Mikhail, say hi to the officer. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Graft. Quite tricky, but he wanted...
The man speaks in the art of...
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is what...
Wow, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn of the century.
It looks old and weathered.
That's not surprising. They started out as a midway Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Felt had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing. It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machine, which is a feat of engineering, even today's giants.
He assumes something like a combat stunt.
Indeed.
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government all of this was built by Feld, even a boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got...
A wheel?
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit...
Wait, is he saying that we should just bypass the excesses of the river?
Officer, I told you this chapter of history wasn't on Mikhail's...
The boy looks first at you.
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer...
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little... freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center. like it's the most natural thing in the... What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Joost?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's what... In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you ever... But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write...
Made of black film and folding...
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionary setting fire to this precious device. But so... Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Felt Playback Experience. Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up... But of course, what else? I do have some money, yes, but that's not...
He's not gonna give you money. No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he...
Oh no, I don't have it on me, officer. I was talking in... I'm just spending time with my kid here, showing him around the lesser-known parts of...
Not that he would have to worry about being robbed. He looks surprisingly...
I do some Lomantang stick fighting.
Lomantang stick fighting is a form of martial arts originating from the island of Lomantang. It uses slender...
Actually, a great many cultures have their own version of stick fighting, such as the sacred Mabolo tradition.
You doze off as he paints you a comprehensive picture. Man, he's good.
But anyway, I'm boring you with details again. You were saying? Then I guess everything got said, right? No, thanks to...
Pick your brain. If anything, this was... You see, a once bright mural towering above, a slogan used to intertwine with the loops along.
Ah, yes, their famous motto.
Hi, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer? Oh, that's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea? An installation. Is a heap of trash. This actually calls for a funeral, I think. Aye. Feels deserved, don't you think? Falling in the line of duty like that and all. Why odd? Our things are a part of our life world. They're made...
Life world? Someone's been reading up on last century Gotwaldian philosophers. Played.
Oh yeah? You won't even be able to get it out of the water before early June. Take it from someone who's been through a few funerals.
It's going to be quite a few years before nature is able to completely take care of a motor carriage. You could always come back in a few months and...
I understand, believe me. I really do. But daydreaming is a rich man's game. At sea, you can't afford to be careless and dream. Anyway, what are we talking about here again? The sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer? Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
Oh yes, she does. You need to get your drink on. There is no other way for human beings to procreate. Not after 6,000 years of yeast cultivation-based mating rituals.
What? Funny sailor joke.
It's okay. She just hasn't figured out how these things work between the sexes.
Oh, that's good to know, I guess. This calls for a funeral, if you ask me. Police business. I understand. Anything I can help you with? Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it.
Get the drink on. It would be unimaginable for a human female to have sex.
Alcohol? Connect? I'm not...
She doesn't even understand you asked her out. Perhaps you're too sober to pull it off right now. Try again later. Well, hello. What a solid can of mass-produced piss water. Well over 10. Wow, the gods of mass production have made this alcohol container. There's a satisfying pop as the cap comes off, and the hair on nothing. Some mental stuff. A golden sun melts down your throat. Its rays filling your nostrils with sunshine. Your stomach melts from it into a happy, gooey mess.
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's an alcohol button. Alcohol
from the void.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast.
Alcohol, man. That's exactly what she needs. Now make her see that.
Okay. Where's it? Absurdly and pointedly phrased.
She doesn't even understand you asked her out.
He's back. And thirsty. I got smokes and piss and a little speed to spot.
Tequila sunset. Ah, tequila. I knew you'd... What's that supposed to mean? What's that got to do with my jacket? What do I care about some local stiff? You gonna give me the jacket or no? Let me see. What? This isn't my jacket. My jacket was beautiful. I'm not taking a disgust. Either bring it back the way it was before, or...
Underneath the accumulated filth, the jacket itself appears to be stain resistant. Maybe it just needs a good scrub.
Of course. Not much, but it will... The tale I'm about to tell you is an urban legend, particular. There are many variations on the basic story, and...
Are you telling the story?
Summer of 44. Our heroine finds herself enjoying the peace and quiet the canal provides. What she doesn't know is that her peace is about to be shattered. From behind her comes the clattering of hooves. A headless man, wearing a found tracksuit, rumored to be searching for his legendary found cap that went missing when he lost his head. If I hadn't lost my keys that one time, I'd agree with you. But life is a cruel mistress. Gertrude Het may have been the first to witness the headless found rider, but she was...
Tell him about it.
Fuck, Rosemary, they were dating. No one said they were feminine. Right. Early autumn, the wind picks up. The women are caught in the downpour. They act quickly, even when she sees something. Her shriek is so but there is no lightning. Only Ula makes a run for the shore. Her body is never recovered. Word on the street is that she gave herself facial Anyway, that's the story of the headless Faln Rider. That's the reality situation for you. Well, Tequila, that's part of the legend. No one... Some say he was an undercover cop. Others claim he was a professional...
Even decapitation couldn't stop his commitment to the sport.
Personally, I think he was just some guy who Coincidentally, at that exact moment, a horse happened to pass under.
For some reason, this does strike you as the most plausible theory of them all.
That would explain the tracksuit and his need for revenge. Anyway, to each his own. You want to hear? No one knows.
Aye, I saw him one night when I was right shit-faced.
I actually do have one. Do you have anything to fortify old Doom Spiral? It's very hard to tell a story when one's mouth is...